Hi and welcome to the THG 2019 Procurement Bake Off Final. After the incredible success of
I saw the pictures.
After the moderately successful event
Ryan's cake.
After the event last year, we're back again and we're going to be cooking something special for you. And again, I'm joined by Chelsea Jakes. And Chelsea, how old are you now?
I'm 12.
12 years old. And still, have you ever worked commercially in any kind of bakery? Ever done any kind of cooking?
Absolutely no experience.
Absolutely no experience. So, over to you guys. We're going to be making a very special dish, a very personal dish, a dish that's enriched in our Jakes family history that's been made for generations and generations, time upon time, time upon time. Today we're going to be making our puff pastry cranberry Christmas mince pie star.
What? That is a family secret recipe!
I know, but Grandma Jax, she told me on her deathbed that if I was ever given an opportunity to share this with millions of people, it'd be okay.
I thought she lived in Leeds.
She did live in Leeds. But regardless, we're going to be doing this today and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
I'm so not happy about this.
So to make these very special festive mince pies, we're going to need some ingredients. What we got?
You need 75 grams of raisins.
75 grams of dried cranberries, 75 grams of dark brown sugar, 75 grams of currant. We're going to need some Moroccan almond extract, we're going to need some vanilla extract.
You need clementine.
Obviously 300 grams of fresh cranberries, we need a pinch of ground cinnamon, a pinch of ground ginger and a pinch of ground cloves.
Some white chocolate.
We're going to need some port, some ruby port, some vanilla pods, some brandy, definitely some maple syrup, and finally a very, very, very good high quality red wine. So the equipment we need, a good quality rolling pin.
You need a good quality pot and a spoon.
We need a scale, a metal ruler and a star-shaped cutter.
A grater.
We're going to need an egg for the egg wash. We're going to need a brush, good quality baking trays and butter to grease the line of the tin. So we normally do this recipe traditionally every Christmas Eve.
It's not really Christmassy though.
I've got an idea for that. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's not impressive.
I just managed to get out of thin air.
Watch this.
Whoa! How'd you do that?
Just, you know, shows how much Christmas spirit I have.
Anyway, on with the recipe. What are you doing?
I'm greasing the trays. Start by preheating the oven to 200 degrees.
So start with the gas on full flame, and then we're going to start with 60 mils of port, straight into the pan, and we're going to put in 75 grams of brown sugar. The minute you can put that in, you can smell the sort of mulled wine, Christmassy, festive spirit kind of waft out of the pan. Just give that a stir. Very good.
Next, add 300 grams of fresh cranberries.
And now some spices.
So first we add a teaspoon of ground cloves, then we add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then we add a teaspoon of ground ginger.
And then we add some mixed fruits. You have to have mixed fruits, so we've got some
raisins.
Okay.
And we've got some currants.
And we're going to throw in some dried cranberries as well. And the most important part about any homemade mincemeat is a really good quality red wine.
Then zest and juice 1 clementine, smelling a lot like Christmas.
And for a festive sweet glaze, we use Canadian maple syrup.
And for another seasoning, and Moroccan almond extract.
So let this simmer for 20 minutes, and that means I can get on with my pastry.
So after 20 minutes of mincemeat being simmering, You can just smell all the flavours that are really coming through, just wafting through, festive-like flavours and smells of cinnamon and spices. And you know, you can just imagine my great-grandma Jack's, you know, in the foothills of the Italian mountains, bottom of the Alps.
She lived in Leeds.
She did in Leeds. You're going to use puff pastry. We are buying shop-bought pastry today, only because the THG procurement team bake-off final only has an hour time limit, so we've got to save some time somewhere. So we're going to use puff pastry, and we're going to use a really good rolling pin. The longer the rolling pin, the better usually. And we're going to roll this out so it's fairly even. We want it about 30 centimetres in diameter.
Try not to push too hard. Ease the pastry with the weight of the rolling pin. It wants to be ½ centimetre thick. So we like to be pretty precise with these, so we use a ruler. We mark off 10 centimetre squares. Using a very sharp knife, cut 4 diagonal lines into your square. Use the extra pastry to cut out stars. Then we make the egg wash. This is going to help the pastry to stick.
So to get the pastry to stick with the egg wash, we just line the outside, and that helps it stick in the centre. And using 1 small teaspoon of your homemade cranberry mince meat in the centre, and then we're going to use a knife, and we're just going to lift over every other corner and get them to meet in the centre.
Add a little egg wash to each star. And finish it off with your pastry star and add a little egg wash. This will make it nice and brown when it gets into the oven. Gently lift it onto the tray. Bake on 200 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes.
So while we're waiting, where's the dog?
Oh, he's not been feeling well.
Really? Why?
He had one of Ian Cross's biscuits. After 12 minutes, lift them onto a board.
And to finish off, we're going to glaze with a maple syrup. And you want to do this while it's still warm, because you want the syrup to soak into the pastry. And for a final touch, we're going to melt some white chocolate using a water bath so we can sprinkle it over the top. And just using a fork, take the white chocolate and just sprinkle over the top.
And gently sprinkle with icing sugar. What happened to Ryan?
I don't know, we didn't have a very good heat, but we have 3 fantastic finalists all set for Friday for the THG procurement team bake-off final. We're making special Jack's Family recipe mince pie stars. Can't wait to see you all there. Over to you guys.